Okay, we are now on the record for Tuesday afternoon's criminal docket for September 28, 2021. I will start with quick announcements. Attorney Jorge Ortegon.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, sir.
Judge, I'm here on the state of Texas versus Jennifer Bravo, Your Honor. That is number, I just had it, Judge. I apologize. I just pulled over.
Okay, it's number 20.
Number 20, Your Honor. CR 21012661I, Judge.
Okay, and I do see that Ms. Bravo is on. And what is your announcement, counselor?
Judge, we've submitted a PTD application. They are giving her the opportunity to take a re-drug test within the next 2 weeks of last Friday, Your Honor. I do have her coming into town because she is in the Dallas area, Judge. I have her coming into town next Friday to take a drug test, Your Honor. They said that if she comes out negative on that, she'll be accepted into the PTD program, Judge. So we're just hoping for one more opportunity from this honorable court for her to take a re-drug test so we can try to get her into the PTD program, Your Honor.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do is, so she's gonna test next Friday, which is the 8th. The soonest I have is November the 2nd at 1:30.
That'll work, Your Honor. She'll be here hopefully by then, assuming she does well on the drug test. We can get all the paperwork and everything to prove this up on the to get her placed, Your Honor.
Place, okay. All right, Ms. Bravo, November 2nd at 1:30. Make sure you get that test done as soon as possible, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right. If nothing else, you may be excused.
Thank you so much, Your Honor. You have a great day.
Likewise. Ms. Montes, is your client on yet?
Good morning, Judge. I don't see him on.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Kennedy, do you have an announcement with your client present?
Judge, I have a jail case set for this afternoon.
Okay, and what number is that?
I think it's number 5 through 8, Your Honor. Jose Alanis Jr.
Okay, and is this just for arraignment and consideration of reduction of bond?
No, Your Honor, it's our motion to withdraw.
Oh, okay. So, Jose Alanis, can you bring him forward, Deputy?
Yes, Your
Mr.
Honor.
Alanis, do you understand English? Okay, I'm gonna call CR 21-08577-I, CR 19-09243-I, CR 19-09245-I, CR 20-02945-I, the state of Texas versus Jose Alanis Jr. Okay, so Mr. Kennedy, you all have filed a motion to withdraw?
Correct.
Okay. Were you appointed or retained?
We were, well, his family hired us to represent him on a bond reduction, and we ended up getting listed as the attorneys of record, Your Honor.
Okay,
In a felony court. So he has a felony out of the same transaction as the CR 21 case, and we withdrew on that case, and Joe Reyna was appointed to represent him on the felony.
okay, so Mr. Alanis, you will be needing an attorney to be appointed to you, sir?
Okay, ma'am.
I'm sorry, will you be needing an attorney to be appointed to you, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, okay, my court coordinator.
My dad had hired Sir Palacios. I'm not sure if he's here.
Okay, I do have somebody from Mr. Palacios's office. Mr. Arredondo, can you hear me?
Yes, Judge. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Arredondo. Do you have any notification that your office was retained for Jose Inez Alanis Jr.?
Honestly, Judge, the name does not ring a bell, Judge, but I can just double check really quick.
Will you check? He's under the impression that his family has hired Mr. Palacios.
What's his name, Judge? Sorry, I didn't get the full name.
Jose Inez Alanis Jr.
Let me just double check with my secretary.
Seeing that he may have hired Terry or needing a court-appointed lawyer, Your Honor, may our motion to withdraw be granted?
Yes, your motion for withdrawal will be granted, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor. May I be excused?
Yes, sir.
May your staff have a good day, Judge. Thank you.
Likewise. Mr. Damian, can you check to see if anything was filed on behalf of Mr. Alanis after that motion to withdraw?
I'm looking at the cases right now, Judge, and I don't see anything after the motion to withdraw.
Okay. Mr. Arredondo, were you able to get any answers in your office?
Our secretary is checking right now, Judge. Is there a case number, Judge?
Yes, he has several.
Oh, can I get one of them, please, Judge?
Sure. CR 21-08577-I.
Okay, just let me just double check.
Mr. Osuna, is the only case you have the plea to the court?
We have two pleas, Your Honor, and we also have a jail case, Your Honor.
Okay.
And I have those numbers handy if the court needs it.
Okay, so I have your plea number 27, and do you have Eileen also?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and which is your jail case?
We have number 15, CR 21-10815I, and number 17, CR 20-08862I. Those are both the same young lady. And Mr. De La Fuente also has one of her cases. Her name is Kaylee Janae Sines.
Okay, so then she's going to be, she needs to be arraigned on the criminal trespass, correct?
Yeah, well, actually, Your Honor, we filed, and actually, I'm hoping that my paralegal filed it, notice, a motion suggesting incompetency. She refused to see it, and then based off of some of her history that was available in Odyssey, we felt it was an appropriate thing to do. And let me just double check to make sure that that has been accepted, Your Honor.
Okay.
Yes, Your Honor.
Judge, if I may,
Yes.
on number 17, CR 2008-862I, there is a motion for incompetency that was filed.
Okay, so that's on number 17 of the court's docket.
Yes, ma'am.
If it's helpful, Your Honor, when a client refuses to see me at the jail, that's really the only recourse that I can think of. I don't know if Mr. De La Fuente has had more luck with Miss Sines. So that might be useful to inquire if somebody from his
Okay.
office is available.
I don't have anybody from his office on right now,
Yes, Your
but Ms. Sines, Deputy, can you please bring Kaylee Sines to the front? Ms. Sines, do you understand English?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so Ms. Sines, Mr. Osuna and the Public Defender's Office has been appointed to you. However, you have refused to see him. Is that still your position?
I'm sorry, what was your question?
Are you refusing to see your attorney?
No, I haven't seen him. I would like a pair of eyeglasses before I meet with him, but I don't know him.
Okay, so, well, he's attempted to set up a meeting with you and was notified that you would not be meeting with him. Now, are you saying that you're not going to meet with him because you need a pair of eyeglasses?
Yes.
Okay, did you come into the jail? Were you arrested with eyeglasses?
I got rid of them before I came in
Okay, so,
because my dog chewed them up.
okay. I don't have a way of providing you with eyeglasses now. But eyeglasses doesn't have anything to do with listening to the advice or a consultation with your attorney. So either you're going to meet with your attorney to discuss your case with him, or I'm going to take up his motion to suggest incompetency. So I need to know from you if you will be cooperating with your attorney before I determine whether or not you are competent.
I'm competent.
Okay,
Coherent.
so then I'm gonna give another opportunity to your attorney to set up a time to meet with you, okay?
Okay.
And his name is Jose Osuna. So are you okay, Ms. Sines? Ms. Sines, I'm asking you a question.
Yes.
Are you okay?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you need to answer yes or no. Are you on any medications that have not been taken to you at the jail?
She's asking you.
Ms. Sines, are you on any medication that has not been taken to you at the jail? Can you hear me, Ms. Sines? Ms. Sines, can you hear me?
I can hear you very well. I just
Okay.
choose to refuse to answer your question.
Okay, well then we're gonna have to go ahead and set your motion for, to suggest incompetency because she's refusing to answer my questions as well. So, Mr. Osuna, do you have an order setting hearing with that motion?
I suspect we do, Your Honor, but I do not want to misrepresent anything to the court. Let me just, yes, Your Honor, I do see it.
Okay, I'll go ahead and have that set.
Yes,
I'll
Your Honor.
ask Ms. Rivera to request it and we'll go ahead and set it.
Yes, Your Honor. In the
and-
meantime, I will make, I'm sorry, Your Honor.
It's okay. You can attempt to make contact with her, but I don't know that that's gonna do any good for you.
Yes, Your Honor.
And Judge,
Okay.
if I may, for the record and for defense counsel's knowledge, this defendant was accepted into the mental health court program.
I appreciate that.
Okay. And Ms. Werenia, have y'all heard from the alleged victim on the assault of the family member?
Yes, Judge, it is the defendant's mother. She did come in and she signed an AMP with our office. In light of the defense's motion, we're gonna wait to see how we can proceed on that.
Okay, well, just so you know, Mr. Osuna, that AMP has been filed.
Yes, Your Honor.
I don't know, I don't think that Ms. Sines will be well served in staying incarcerated longer than she needs to, because it does look to me like she needs some help. So let's try to see what we can do about that,
Yes, Your Honor. I'll start this
Okay.
with Ms. Guarania immediately, Your Honor.
please.
Thank
All
you.
right, okay, in the meantime, I'll let the next setting stand for whatever your order setting hearing date will be, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, any other
Thank
case?
you, Ms. Montes, for showing up.
Okay, so then you're just gonna do your plea, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor. We have two pleas, Ms. Eileen Gutierrez and Mr. Juan Prado.
Okay, so is Mr., I thought I saw okay, Miss Eileen is on and Mr. Prado is on. Okay,
Yes, Your Honor.
give me one moment, be on standby.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, Ms. Montes?
Yes, Judge, my client is present now. Eduardo
Okay.
Bernal,
What number?
number 18 and 19 on the court docket.
CR 20-07454-I and CR 21-01039-I, State of Texas versus Eduardo Bernal. Mr. Bernal, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and what is your announcement, counselor?
Your Honor, we've gone over the plea bargain agreement and we're gonna need a trial setting in this matter.
Okay. Okay, then I'll have your return for a status on January the 20th at 9:30 a.m. And hopefully by then I'll have a better picture of trial settings in my court.
Okay, Judge, on both cases, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. May we be excused?
You certainly may.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay,
Have a
yes,
good day.
likewise. Mr. Arredondo?
Yes, Judge. So I did check with our office, Judge, and we have no records, Judge, no records of Mr. Inez retaining our firm, Judge.
Okay, so Mr. Alanis, if your family intends on hiring Mr. Palacios, they have not done that yet. So you need to contact them. Do you know for sure they're going to hire him, or do you need an attorney appointed to you?
I think he has Salinas, Judge, at the moment.
I'm sorry?
He has Rubio Salinas at the moment.
No, they already withdrew.
Oh.
My question is directed to Mr. Alanis. So, Mr. Alanis, do you know if they're going to be meeting with Mr. Palacios? Or do you want us to appoint you another attorney?
I know for sure I was gonna get one, but if there's no record, I mean, I'll get one appointed.
Okay, Ms. Rivera, can you please tell me who is next on the wheel?
Give me 1 second, Judge.
Sure.
Judge, we have Mr. Chris Sully.
Okay. Mr. Sully will be provided your information, Mr. Alanis, and he'll make contact with you, okay? And so your next status hearing date, when is the soonest that we can put him in since he's a jail case? Boy. Go ahead.
How far out would we need to go, Judge?
Well, it's that, no, I need Mr. Sully to be able to get on and review it. I mean, what else is he being held on? Is it just on these?
He also has felony cases, Judge.
Okay. All right, then we'll go ahead and set him for November the 2nd at 1:30.
I have a question. I wanted to ask you if it's possible if you could uplift my hold from my probation hold, since I was reporting and I was going, but I picked up for this case and it was 6 months ago, and I still kept reporting and it never showed up or nothing, and they wouldn't come and say it was false, because I mean it really was. So I'm asking you if you could remove the hold so I can pay my bond, so I can go back to working.
Well, it's not, you're not only being held on these cases, I don't have jurisdiction over your felony matters. So you're being held also on those. So whatever, that's why you need to go ahead and contact the attorney that's helping you with the felony and see what the issue is on your felony cases. Because I can't do anything about those cases.
What lawyer did you say I have?
On the felony, I don't know. I don't know. Is it showing Ms. Guarena who his attorney is for the felony?
Jose Reina.
Jose Reina is your attorney for the felony cases. Okay?
Okay, ma'am.
All right. But if you need to come sooner on these, Mr. Sully will notify us, okay?
Okay, ma'am.
All right. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Arredondo?
Yes, I have one other concern, Mr. Pablo Puga. He is present on Zoom, Judge. That's number 28 on your docket.
Yes. Okay. And Mr. Puga, was he ready?
Yes, Judge. I know last time that you admonished me that it was either we had to talk to Mr. Michael Garza or you were going to place him on PPD, Judge. We did talk to Mr. Michael Garza. He set up an appointment. He set up an appointment for us last Thursday, Judge. So we talked to him on Thursday, and yesterday, Monday, Judge. He's already reviewing the case, so we should have an answer soon, Judge. So we can just get one more final release, Judge. But we've already talked to Mr. Michael Garza on Mr. Puga's case.
Okay. Ms. Soto, what is What is the, a report on Mr. Puga?
Judge, he has his mobile device with a smart start. He did have one skip test on September the 20th at 6 in the morning. He did email me to advise that he had issue, his schedule changed with school and he overslept.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's medical school. I know it's demanding, Mr. Puga, but you need to do the best that you can to have 0 violations, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so then, how much time are you requesting?
Judge, I'm not sure how much Mr. Garza is gonna take. I guess 30 to 45 days, Judge. So we can just give him enough time to review Mr. Puga's case.
November 18th. Mr. Puga, since your school schedule changed, is the afternoon still, can you pop on in the afternoon or is the morning better?
I would say it really depends on the day. But I would say probably morning would be better, to be honest.
Okay, it's a Thursday and I'll do it at 9:30 then.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Okay. All right, so hopefully you'll have the answer by then.
Yes, Judge. Judge, and that's all I have for today. May I be excused?
Yes, you all may be excused.
You did have a great day, Your Honor.
Thank you,
Okay,
Judge.
thank you. Okay, Attorney Osvaldo Morales?
Yes, Judge. Good afternoon.
Okay, good afternoon. Go ahead.
Yeah, I have a case here. I went to Falfurrias this morning to try to sign him up, Judge. It's going to be a plea. If you can give us a date for 2 weeks, there was not a chance for me to do a date this morning, Judge. So if you can give me 2 weeks, I'm not going to be in town next week. I'll have him signed up this week and be ready to plead him out the following week.
Okay, and who's that, on Noe Peña?
Anoy Peña, yes, Judge.
Okay, Deputy, do you have Noe Peña there?
Yes, Your Honor. He's here.
Okay. Okay, I wouldn't have a setting until October 19th at 1:30.
Judge, if I may, I know on this case, the defendant did plead to 3 years TDC on the felony case, so I'm not sure when he's going to be taken up. If it's possible to get an earlier setting.
I have October 5th at 1:30, but I don't know if that's gonna be, if Mr. Morales can get it done by then.
Well, I'm not going to be in town that week.
Oh,
But Judge, I was going to ask, is he in Hidalgo County? Because they told me he was in Brooks County. Is he in Hidalgo County or in Brooks County right now?
Hidalgo County,
He's in here?
yes.
Well, then I can sign him up tomorrow morning. If
Your Honor,
Go ahead.
he is in Brooks County. He was brought over this morning, Your Honor.
But how long is he here for?
They just bring him for the court date and then they take him back this afternoon, Your Honor.
Oh,
Okay.
so they're gonna take him back this afternoon, Mr. Morales.
I can drive straight over there if I don't know if I can make it in time for him to sign him up today, Judge. Or I'll just schedule it with the indigent department. I think that normally haven't brought.
Okay, well,
that-
I think their concern is that he's gonna be taken up to TDC so that it can get done prior to.
Now, Judge, does he have to sign the plea papers? If we just plead to the court, it's going to be a time served. He's already done about 18 months.
Yeah, he would still need to sign.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't know, Ms. Guarena, any suggestions?
Is the jail able to just hold them until Thursday, like in Hidalgo County, or they would have to transport him? Could we make that request?
Ms. Rivera, didn't I sign an order? But it's because they sometimes will listen to the order, abide by it, and sometimes they don't, so.
For the most part, if we do send it, and I'll send it directly to the sergeant, that way he does relay the message that it needs to be followed. I know that he'll make sure that it's, the defendants are not transported out of the county.
Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and get that order sent out this afternoon, Mr. Morales, and hopefully he'll stay here. So what I'll do is if he does and you go straight over there, I'll reset him for Thursday at 1:30.
Okay, that'll work, Judge. Thank you.
Okay, and that'll be the 30th, 9:30 at 1:30.
All right. Thank you, Judge.
Okay, and we'll work on that.
And
Sorry.
I'm sorry, Judge, if I may, Defense Counsel, I did forward you the paper. I just want to make sure you received it. I did forward it
Yeah.
to Pre-Cal Services as well.
Oh, they have it already over there? Okay, yes, I have it.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you.
Okay, anything else?
No, may I be excused, Judge?
Yes.
All right, thanks.
Okay, Attorney Lily Gutierrez.
Good morning, good afternoon, Your Honor. I have numbers 9 and 10, two different and separate defendants.
Okay, Deputy, if you can please bring up Rodolfo Garcia.
Yes, Your Honor.
That's CR 21-10807-I.
Yes, good afternoon, Your Honor. Lily Gutierrez on behalf of Mr. Rodolfo Garcia. Your Honor, in this case, it's set for an arraignment this afternoon, but I did want to inform the court that Mr. Garcia's mother is prepared to bond him out. However, the mother was in contact with his probation officer. I believe that's on cause number CR 20-10356I. And she indicated that she will be filing a motion to revoke, and that's what's held her back from bonding him out because he would be arrested again. So I believe that's in the horizon, and so that will happen sometime soon. I just wanted to advise the court of that, and so that Mr. Garcia also is aware.
Okay, Ms. Soto, are you showing anything about a revocation being filed against on Mr. Garcia?
One moment, Judge.
Sure.
I'm not showing anything on our system, Judge. I don't know if Odyssey has something.
Yes, I don't see any motion filed yet, but his probation officer, Isis Garcia, is the individual who relayed that to his mother.
Your Honor, if I could have that case number once again, I was trying to find it. Is it CR 21-10356?
Yes,
yes,
that's what I wrote down.
Okay. No, it hasn't been filed, Judge. There's nothing on that file yet.
Okay, so then did they indicate when they would be filing that?
And if they bond him out, no, Your Honor. There's no indication of how soon she would do it. We spoke with his mother yesterday.
Okay. Well, what I can do, Ms. Soto, do you think that
I apologize, Your Honor. Isis Garcia is his wife, is Mr. Garcia's wife. So that's not the probation officer's name, but yes, there was information from the probation officer that she would file the motion to revoke.
Judge, I'm not seeing any motions being submitted on the system. I can speak to the probation officer and inquire on the case.
Okay, so why don't we do that? I mean, he's there. We'll go ahead and check, and let's bring him back on Thursday, Ms. Gutierrez, and that way that'll give Ms. Soto an opportunity to contact him, and if it's not going to happen, that way he can have an opportunity to bond out.
Your Honor, can it be Thursday afternoon?
Yes, it'll be at 1:30.
Okay, very well, Your Honor.
Your Honor.
Yes.
My probation officer is Denise Melesio.
Okay, yes, all right, we have that noted.
Oh,
Okay, thank you, Mr. Garcia.
Thank you.
Okay, and then Deputy, if you can bring up Jesus Martinez, Jesus Eduardo Martinez.
I should be in front of the files. Should be in front of the files.
Your Honor, he's under quarantine protocol. If you need him, can we bring him to the end?
All right, he's under quarantine, Ms. Gutierrez.
Your Honor, I believe that there was an agreement to a bond reduction on this case, so I suppose we could submit that to the court.
Okay, let me call CR 21-10720-I. Ms. Guareño, can you confirm on that agreement?
Yes, Judge, the state can offer a $2,000 PR bond with the condition that upon release, the defendant obtain a device.
Okay, Ms. Gutierrez, is that your understanding?
Yes, it is, Your Honor, that's correct.
Okay, so then I'll go ahead and grant Mr. Martinez's $2,000 PR bond, and he has to obtain a device. a mobile alcohol monitoring device within 48 hours of his release.
48 hours. Yes, Your Honor. Should I have him contact anyone in particular as far as from the probation office?
He can contact Ms. Soto when he's out. And Ms. Soto, can you give Ms. Gutierrez your number, please?
It is 956-587-6084. And I can also email you the list of the vendors for the mobile devices.
Very well. Appreciate that.
Okay, anything else, Ms. Gutierrez?
That's all I have before this honorable court. May I be excused?
You certainly may.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Likewise. Attorney Roel Esquivel?
Good afternoon, Judge.
Good afternoon, sir.
Here I have Mr. Rocha, number 14 on your criminal docket. He is in custody.
Okay, Deputy, can you bring up David Rocha, please? Okay, that's CR 20-11106-I. And what is your announcement, Counselor?
Your Honor, the state relayed an offer of 97 days, credit for 97 days. I went and discussed it with Mr. Rocha at the Hidalgo County Jail. He has rejected that. And the reason is that he is appealing the judgment, the decision out of the 139th, where on that motion to revoke, he received a 7-year sentence. So if he pleads to this misdemeanor, he believes it would affect him, and I believe it would affect him adversely should he be successful on the felony appeal. So at this point, we're asking for a speedy trial. I discussed the COVID issues and the backlog of jail cases that need trial with Mr. Rocha. With that said, we'd ask for the next available trial setting.
Okay, so then he'll have to be set for status on January the 20th at 1:30. And just so you know, Mr. Rocha, I'm in a different situation because I'm in a new court. So trials will probably not start for our court until either the summer or the fall.
That's fine.
Okay, just so you know that. All right. Okay, so then he'll return on January 20th at 1:30. Who said, Your Honor?
I believe Mr. Rocha wants to say something. I
Okay,
would advise him to remain silent, but he has his right to speak.
Okay. I just wanted I wanted to share something with you, ma'am. Last time that I was here in court, I was actually touched, and by the way that you are, you're a very beautiful person, judge, and I know you're a new appointed judge. And I actually wrote something for you. Let me tell it to you real quick. It goes like this. I'm writing a book, and so I'm actually doing something positive here while I'm incarcerated. It's called A Judge Am I, for I'll judge thee with grace. It goes, we are all in charge of our own actions in life. If you look left, you see the door in which ignorance is rewarded with resentment, spiritual blindness, and death in life, described as a walking dead by me. If you look right, you see the light of truth in which, despite all pain, grief, and disbelief you brought forth to your life, you be looking down a path of hope. Hope may one day bring forth and fill hearts with unconditional love. Our Lord, my Lord, has set forth to all in time of need. That is, repent. I say this with a joyful heart, for my Lord our Father had my bear witness to a newly appointed, beautifully hearted, and full of grace judge today at large. Larger than life, if you let her be, for her reign on earth is pure, seated and placed in power by men, but ruled by a humble woman. A woman true to herself is righteous, but a woman true to her heart and soul is true to humanity, forgiveness, and overall God our Father. Never letting go and never giving into action of vengeance, hate, and condemnation that may before her have succumbed to. Handing down help, redemption with gratification in place of years to broken souls, is what I pray to my Lord for her this dawn of eve. To always stay true to her heart with God's love, for she has shown compassion, love, and pure intent to condemn souls on earth by law of men today, so that they may look to the right path set for all of us by God Almighty with unconditional love for all who never lose hope, always staying true to oneself and nurturing other soul along our way to blissful death. A life worthy of living, shining brighter than the star of Bethlehem on that pristine starry night. And it's dedicated to you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Well, I wish you the best of luck, and then we'll see you back here on January the 20th at 1:30. Anything else, Mr. Esquivel?
Judge, so sorry about that. I didn't know he was going to take up the court's time like that. Sorry.
It's okay. Those things are out of our control. Okay.
That's all I have, Judge. May I be excused?
Yes, sir. No problem.
Bye.
Okay. Mr. Peña, you're ready on your plea?
Yes, we are, Your Honor, number 24, Teresa Fuentes.
Okay.
She's right here with me.
Okay, just be on standby. We're getting to you next. Let me take up Mr. Bustos on his quick announcement.
Judge, I'm sorry that I don't have an introduction like that, Judge. You know, that's all I can say on that, Judge. But I do have, I took my 29 and 30, Judge.
Okay. CR 1802191-I and CR 21-00685-I, State of Texas versus Ricardo Rocha. Is Mr. Rocha present?
He is present, Judge. Via Zoom,
Okay.
Judge. Judge,
Mr. Rocha, can you announce yourself, Mr. Rocha, first?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
But Judge, we're having some issues in terms of getting the paperwork signed, given that we're not in the same location. Can I get 2 weeks for this, Judge, and see if there's any other way that I can, Mr. Rocha and I can see eye to eye in regards to funds filling out this paperwork, Judge?
Okay, does the state have any announcement?
No, Judge, that's from the state.
Okay, so you're saying about 2 weeks?
Yes, Judge.
Okay. Let me see what I have. The only thing is that the soonest, do we have any extra room on October 19th at 1:30, Ms. Rivera?
1 second, Judge. No, Judge, it would be the 21st.
Okay, October 21st at 1:30, Mr. Bustos is the soonest I can get you in.
Thank you, Judge. That'd be fine.
Okay, Mr. Rocha, we'll see you back then on October 21st at 1:30.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. Judge.
Thank you. Yes.
I'm also standing in for Sunny Palacios and number 24, Judge.
Okay, let me see. All right, I don't have them on, oh, you're talking about Nadia Coronado?
Yes, ma'am. She's here, Judge.
Okay, CR 1410182-I and CR 1410181-I. Okay, and what is the announcement on that?
This case is still being staffed with Mr. Michael Garza, Judge. And if they could have more time, he is in federal court today.
So then he hadn't been able to get in with Mr. Garza before today then?
No, Judge, but they are working on that.
Okay, November 18th at 1:30.
Thank you, Judge. May I be excused, Your Honor?
Yes.
And you have a good day, Judge.
Okay, and Ms. Coronado is also excused.
Bye, yes.
Okay. All right. I think we just have Mr. Puente.
Yes, good afternoon, Your Honor.
Okay, hold on. Ms. Coronado, you'll return back on November 18th at 1:30.
Sorry about that. I was.
It's okay.
November 18th at what time?
November 18th at 1:30.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Mr. Puente, your paperwork was submitted and I'm gonna go ahead and allow the plea to move forward today, sir. Okay, so Mr. Elias Aceves, deputy, if you can bring him up.
He should be on his way over here, Your Honor.
Okay. Okay, while we're waiting for Mr. Aceves, if I can have the attention of Ms. Fuentes, Eileen Sainz Gutierrez, and Mr. Prado.
Ms. Fuentes is right here, Your Honor.
Okay, so just to verify, everyone is English speaking, that is correct?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna need for you all to stay in a quiet location. You will unmute yourself, listen to the questions very carefully. And as soon as Mr. Aceves is on the screen, we'll get started with the plea. Do you know, Deputy, if it'll be a while? If it is, I can get the other one started and we can just wait for him.
It should be maybe 5-10 minutes, Your Honor.
Okay, let me go ahead and do the other.
Yes, Your Honor.
And also, Mr. Aceves is a little bit hard to control, so I would ask for him to be by himself.
Okay, no problem. All right, Ms. Fuentes, Ms. Gutierrez, and Mr. Prado, please raise your right hand. Do you swear that the testimony that you are about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Okay, Ms. Fuentes?
Yes.
Okay, Ms. Gutierrez
Yes.
and Mr. Prado?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you may lower your hands. NCR 1913264-I in the state of Texas versus Teresa Margarita Fuentes. Is that your true and correct name, ma'am?
Yes.
NCR 20-61440-I, the state of Texas versus Eileen Sainz Gutierrez. Is that your true and correct name, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
NCR 20-7619-I, the state of Texas versus Juan Carlos Prado. Is that your true and correct name, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Fuentes, you are before the court charged with theft of property of greater than $100 but less than $750, which is a Class B misdemeanor. Ms. Gutierrez, you are before the court charged with driving while intoxicated, which is a Class B misdemeanor. Mr. Prado, you are charged with reckless driving. Now, if it is a Class B misdemeanor, that carries a potential penalty of up to 6 months in Hidalgo County Jail and up to a $2,000 fine upon conviction. A Class A misdemeanor carries a potential penalty of up to 1 year in Hidalgo County Jail and up to a $4,000 fine upon conviction. Do each of you understand the range of punishment that you can receive for the offense of which you are charged, Ms. Fuentes? Yes or no? You have to speak up, yes or no?
Louder. Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Gutierrez, yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Prado?
Yes, ma'am.
All of you have a right to an attorney and a right to a trial by jury. You can waive one or both of those rights by signing a written document with this court. Did you have an opportunity to review that document with your attorney, Ms. Fuentes? Yes or no?
Yes.
Ms. Gutierrez?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Prado?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you understand that when you signed that document, you were waiving your right to a trial by jury? Ms. Fuentes, yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Gutierrez?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Prado?
Yes, ma'am.
The court will accept your waiver of trial by jury. Has any court ever declared you to be mentally incompetent, crazy, or insane? Ms. Fuentes, yes or no?
No.
Ms. Gutierrez?
No, ma'am.
Mr. Prado?
No, ma'am.
Counselors, in speaking with your clients, do you find them to be mentally competent and able to assist you in their own defense? Mr. Peña
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
and Mr. Osuna?
Both Ms. Gutierrez and Mr. Prado are competent and have been able to assist.
Then the court will make a finding that the defendants before the court are mentally competent and able to assist their attorneys in their own defense. Now, do each of you understand that if the punishment I assess does not exceed what is recommended by the state, then you will need this court's permission if you decide to file an appeal? Ms. Fuentes, yes or no?
Yes.
Ms. Gutierrez?
Yes.
Mr. Prado?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you further understand that I do not have to accept the recommendation of the state? Ms. Fuentes?
Yes, ma'am.
You need to speak up, Ms. Fuentes. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Gutierrez
Yes, ma'am.
and Mr. Prado?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, at this time, I need to ask you, are you each a U.S. citizen? Ms. Fuentes, yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Gutierrez
Yes, ma'am.
and Mr. Prado?
Yes, ma'am.
So therefore, in CR 19-13264-I, the state of Texas versus Teresa Margarita Fuentes, to the offense of theft of property of greater than $100 but less than $750, which is a class B misdemeanor. How do you plead, ma'am? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty, ma'am.
In CR 20-06140-I, state of Texas versus Eileen Saenz Gutierrez, to the offense of driving while intoxicated, a class B misdemeanor, ma'am. How do you plead? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
In CR 20-07619-I, the state of Texas versus Juan Carlos Prado, to the offense of reckless driving. How do you plead, sir? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
And are each of you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily? Yes or no, Ms. Fuentes?
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Gutierrez
Yes, ma'am.
and Mr. Prado?
Yes, ma'am.
So the court will accept the pleas as being freely and voluntarily given. I will call for state's evidence at this time.
Thank you, Your Honor. Excuse me. State offers plea documents and offense reports as State's Exhibit 1, notification and certification of defendant's right of appeal as State's Exhibit 2, waiver of Article 39.14 disclosures as State's Exhibit 3, and waiver of risk and needs assessment as State's Exhibit 4. State would also request defense counsel stipulate to the venue and jurisdiction of this honorable court. And state would also request defense counsel stipulate to the fact that all evidence has been e-filed is sufficient evidence to corroborate the plea of guilty.
Okay, any objections, Mr. Peña
Objections, and we so stipulate, Your Honor.
and Mr. Osuna?
No objection, Your Honor. So agreed and stipulated.
In CR 19-13264-I, the state of Texas versus Teresa Margarita Fuentes, it is a judgment of the court, ma'am, that you are guilty as charged. What is the state's recommendation?
The state recommends a $200 fine plus court cost, plus 8 months deferred adjudication, plus a theft intervention class, and plus 20 hours of community service.
Okay, before moving forward, just for the record, there being no objection from defense counsel as to the exhibits, all exhibits are hereby admitted and approved. Okay, any questions or requests on behalf of your client, Mr. Peña?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, then the court will give Ms. Fuentes 90 days to pay her fine and 90 days to pay the court costs. And Ms. Fuentes, are you working full-time?
No, ma'am.
Okay, then the rest of the recommendation I will follow.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay,
And
Ms.
we-
Fuentes, well, let me get a phone number for her. Ms. Fuentes, your phone number?
I recall 956-975-4378, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am. All right, at the probation department's earliest convenience, they will be calling you. Okay, so you are excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yes, sir, you're very welcome. NCR 20-06140-I, State of Texas versus Eileen Saenz Gutierrez. It is a judgment of the court, ma'am, that you are guilty as charged, and what is the state's recommendation?
State recommends a $300 fine plus court cost, plus 180 days in Hidalgo County Jail, probated over 1 year, plus an alcohol class, plus a drug education class, plus an interlock device, plus 90 days Texas driver's license suspension, and 20 hours of community service, with a stipulation that if the defendant does plead to this, the state will dismiss CR-20-0614-I.
Okay, I have that you would dismiss CR-18-15552-I.
Yes, that's correct, Judge.
Okay. Okay, any questions or requests on behalf of your client, Mr. Osuna?
Yes, Your Honor. My client was a specialty court candidate, and she worked hard to get her license. We would humbly ask that her suspension run concurrent with her administrative suspension. Moreover, she's working. We would humbly ask if the court would consider waiving community service hours upon continuous proof of employment.
Okay, those two requests will be granted.
Yes, Your Honor.
She does need to get the interlock device within 48 hours of this, of her receipt of the order being signed.
And actually, Your Honor, I believe she already has the mobile alcohol monitoring device. Would the court consider keeping that one just to avoid installations?
Yes.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Soto, do we have reports already coming in on her?
Yes, Judge, she does have her interlock device with Smart Start. There's no violations.
Okay, so she has an interlock device.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry, Your Honor. I thought she had a mobile. That was my mistake.
Okay, then we'll stay with the interlock device then and just continue with 0 violations. Ms. Gutierrez, what's your phone number?
956-588-6506.
Okay, and I'll also give you 90 days to pay the fine and 90 days to pay the court costs.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, anything else?
No, Your Honor, not on behalf of Ms. Gutierrez.
Okay, Ms. Gutierrez, you are excused.
Okay, thank you.
NCR 20-07619-I, the state of Texas versus Juan Carlos Prado. It is the judgment of the court, sir, that you are guilty as charged. And what is the state's recommendation?
The state recommends a $300 fine plus court cost plus 180 days in Hidalgo County Jail, probated over 9 months, plus a defensive driving course, plus 30 community service hours.
Okay, and Mr. Osuna, any questions or requests on behalf of your client?
Yes, Your Honor. This is an open plea. The state did not offer deferred or any other sort of ADR because Mr. Prado picked up a similar offense close to the time that he picked this one up. We read the reports. We went over them with Mr. Prado. It was foolishness to be sure. My concern, however, is that he's a young man. He's obviously ambitious. He's states away, working hard, making money. Our hope is that we never see Mr. Prado again. We would humbly ask if the court would consider a deferred probation recommendation, and if the court would allow him to report by mail while he continues to reside and work in Wisconsin, and if the court would consider waiving his community service hours in light of the distance as well.
Okay, but he picked up a secondary offense after this one?
Oh, it was before, Your Honor. So the state dismissed his first offense, which gave rise to the reluctance to allow him to have this case dismissed. But we just can't help but feel that Mr. Prado is done with foolishness, and we would hate that, in the future, he be denied some opportunity. We believe this case will be sufficient deterrence. He's going to be on supervision for quite a long time. It's going to cost him a good bit of money. He'll never be able to expunge this case. There may be instances where it comes up, even if it does result in a deferred disposition.
How fast was he driving?
He was traveling 98 miles per hour, Judge. And Judge, if I may, he had 2 prior reckless driving charges. One was dismissed with plea to another, which he was convicted and did receive 9 months probation. So that's due to that, the state is unwilling to go below or offer 9 months probation on this case.
I'm mistaken, Your Honor. I thought that he had 1 prior, so I may have been incorrect.
So he had 2 prior reckless driving. One was dismissed with a plea to the other one.
Correct, Judge. And Judge, this was just done, March of last year. The prior conviction, I mean.
Okay. And how old are you, Mr. Prado?
23.
23?
Yes, ma'am.
And how long have you been employed?
This job's already been like 10 months.
Okay. So in light of knowing that, Mr. Osuna, you're still asking for the court to consider deferred?
No, Your Honor, I don't think that I can make that request in good faith. I was mistaken. I must have looked at Odyssey too quickly. So we would humbly ask though for the ability to report by mail. And we would ask if the court would consider waiving the community service hours.
Okay. So then I'll go ahead and grant your waiving of the 30 community service hours because he's working full-time. I'll give him 90 days to pay the fine and 90 days to pay the court costs. And then I'll go ahead and allow him to report by mail and also waive the condition and allow him to travel for work.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Prado, what's your phone number?
956-603-3145.
Okay. All right. Okay. If nothing else, then Mr. Prado, you are excused, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Deputy, was Mr. Aceves?
Yes, sir. Here you go.
Okay, Mr. Solis, do you have a quick announcement before we start with that plea?
Yes, Judge. On Mr. Jose Chaides, I do see him logged in.
Yes.
Judge, in this case, I just need a short reset so we can get the PTD paperwork signed, Judge. He has been approved. I believe payment has been made. It's just a matter of the paperwork.
Okay, so he needs to submit the packet?
No, Judge, he's been approved. We just need to sign the PTD paperwork.
Oh, you need to, okay. I was wondering, how did he get approved before? All right. Okay, how much time do you need?
Judge, I can see him this week. If he's available to come in this week, then next week we should be able to finalize this plea. Mr.
Okay.
Chaides, are you available to come in this week?
Well, I live in Houston, so that's, yeah.
Judge, if we can get 2 weeks, I'll get it done. I'll go ahead and send them the paperwork and we'll get it signed, even if remotely.
The earliest I have is October 21st at 1:30.
That's fine, Judge.
Okay, and that should give you some time to get that to him. Okay, anything else?
Yes, I did have a jail case, Your Honor. It was a female. I saw that the public defenders had been appointed. However, we're retained on that case and my office is filing a substitution. It's Miss
Okay,
Kaylee
so
Science.
are you being retained on all 3 cases?
Kaylee Science, yes, Judge.
Okay, so that you know that they had filed a motion to suggest incompetency.
Yes, Judge, that's what we've been dealing with in the felony court. She does have pending felonies and that's what we're discussing.
Okay, well, go ahead and have your motion to substitute filed. And that way we can, and I'll go ahead and grant that. And then we do need to do something because she refused to answer any of my questions. So I'm
Judge,
sure there's issues there.
Yes, Judge, that's what I was gonna say. It's issues stemming from everything that we've been dealing with, Judge. So it is no bad faith on her part. It's just what she's been going through.
Okay, all right, then we'll wait for those to be filed.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay,
May I be
anything else?
excused?
Yes, you may be excused.
Thank you. You all stay safe.
Okay, Mr. Aceves,
Yes, ma'am.
are you ready to move forward, sir?
Huh?
You're ready to move forward on your pleas?
Yeah.
It's yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Okay, will you please raise your right hand? Do you swear that the testimony that you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you may lower your hand. CR 21-00055-I and CR 20-08884-I and CR 20-08885-I in the state of Texas versus Elias Aceves. Is that your true and correct name, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So, Mr. Aceves, you're here on a motion to revoke on the assault causing bodily injury, a Class A misdemeanor, indecent exposure, a Class B misdemeanor, and a harassment, a Class B misdemeanor. On those revocations, each one of those Class B misdemeanors, it carries a potential penalty of up to 6 months in Hidalgo County Jail and up to a $2,000 fine upon conviction. On the Class A misdemeanor, it carries a potential penalty of up to 1 year in Hidalgo County Jail and up to a $4,000 fine upon conviction. Do you understand the range of punishment, sir, for each offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you also understand, sir, you have a right to an attorney and a right to a trial by jury. You can waive one or both of those rights by signing a written document with the court. Sir, did you have an opportunity to review that document with your attorney before signing it? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you understand that when you signed that document, you were waiving your right to a trial by jury? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Then the court will accept your waiver of trial by jury. Mr. Aceves, has any court ever declared you to be mentally incompetent, crazy, or insane? Do you remember, has any court ever declared you to be mentally incompetent, crazy, or insane? I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
I was getting help with tropical, like, for court. De la parte de Roy Gonzalez.
Okay, when you were at Tropical, and that's okay. That doesn't mean that you were declared mentally incompetent. But do you know if you were declared mentally incompetent or insane? Okay, so you don't know, Mr. Puente. He says he doesn't know if he was ever declared that.
Got a criminal history, Your Honor, and any issues had been determined in the past, and he's not mentally incompetent. He does have some mental challenges, but he's not mentally incompetent.
Okay, so then counselor, in speaking with Mr. Aceves, you find him to be mentally competent and able to assist you in his own defense?
That's correct.
Okay. Then the court will make a finding that Mr. Aceves is mentally competent and able to assist his attorney in his own defense. Now, Mr. Aceves, do you understand that if the punishment that I give to you isn't more than what the state is recommending, you'll need my permission to file an appeal, sir. Do you understand that? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you also understand that I don't have to accept the state's recommendation?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, then in CR 21-00055-I and in CR 20-08884-I and CR 20-08885-I, do you plead true or not true?
True.
Okay. And are you doing that freely and voluntarily?
Huh?
Are you doing that freely and voluntarily?
Yes.
Okay, did anybody force you to
No.
plead true? Okay, then I'll accept it as being freely and voluntarily given. I will call for state's evidence at this time.
Now, before we get to state's evidence, can I go ahead and take one more of the court's time to talk with Mr. Puente?
Oh, yes, Mr. Puente, I believe there was some things that were missing from the plea documents. Mr. Ramirez, go ahead.
Yes, there's a missing date when signed. Can you go ahead and state for the record when it was signed?
It was signed today, 28th of September 2021.
And for the option for been arrested or have arrested on, can you go ahead and tell me for the record what it was? Which option would you have selected?
The first one you mentioned.
So arrested?
Mr. Ramirez, I'm sorry, what were the options?
Let's see, it was not been arrested or arrested.
He was arrested.
Which one would he select?
He was
He was
arrested.
He said he's arrested.
Okay, that's, let me confer, is that all we have? Full
Yes,
counsel?
that's correct.
Okay, at this time, we're going to go ahead and read in state's evidence.
You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Okay, state offers waiver of rights, consent to stipulation of evidence, and plea of true to state's motion to revoke. Revoke as state's exhibit number 1. State also requests defendant stipulate that he is the same defendant who was previously placed on probation. State would also request defense counsel stipulate to the venue and jurisdiction of this honorable court. And state would also request defense counsel stipulate to the fact that all evidence has been e-filed is sufficient evidence to corroborate the revocation.
No objections as to the evidence, Your Honor. Stipulated as to venue and jurisdiction, stipulated as to his identity in the prior cases, and stipulated as to proper e-filing.
Okay, there being no objection from defense counsel as to the exhibits are hereby admitted and approved. Therefore, in CR 21-00055-I, in CR 20-08884-I, and CR 20-08885-I, in the state of Texas versus Elias Aceves. It is a judgment of the court, sir, that you are the same defendant that was previously placed on probation and violated those conditions, sir. So what is the state's recommendation?
And CR-21-00055-I, state recommends a $100 fine plus court cost plus 365 days in Hidalgo County Jail, credit for 294 days.
Okay, and in the next one?
Okay, for CR-20-08884-I, state recommends a $100 fine plus court cost plus 180 days in Hidalgo County Jail, credit for 180 days.
Okay, and the next one?
And for CR-20-08885-I, state recommends a $100 fine plus court cost plus 180 days in Hidalgo County Jail, credit for 180 days.
Okay, counselor, any questions or requests on behalf of your client?
Yes, Your Honor. For CR 21-00055-I, I understood from the state that would be time served, Your Honor. So we would ask that the court give him a time served recommendation. It's 294 days for this case, Your Honor, and they're giving the entire year. I don't think he'll be released immediately because he has other pending cases. So we would ask the court if the court would consider reducing the sentence to time served on that charge.
Okay, anything else?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, so the court will, on CR 21-00055-I, the court will grant defense counsel's request and give time served to Mr. Aceves. Will further waive any fees and court costs as a result of the amount of time that he has served on each of the cases that he is pleading to today. Okay, and I believe that takes care of everything, Mr. Puente, am I correct?
There's number 1, Your Honor, CR 18-16296-I. I have not discussed with his family to come up with the $105 for the restitution amount, Your Honor. So I just asked for a setting of a couple of weeks so I can continue to pursue the payment of the restitution amount.
Okay, October 21st at 1:30.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, anything else on these 3 cases?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, then Mr. Aceves, good luck to you, sir. Okay, Mr. Puente, anything else?
No, Your Honor, may be excused.
Yes. And Okay, Deputy, do you have Martin Pardo?
Yes, Your Honor, he's here. He's a Spanish speaker, Your Honor.
Okay, Ms. Rivera, do we show an attorney being assigned to him yet?
No, Judge, we don't. I do know that Melinda Diaz was the next
Okay.
attorney.
Ms. Castellera, please let Mr. Pardo know that his attorney will be Melinda Diaz.
Mr. Pardo, su nueva abogada se llama Melinda Díaz.
Malena Díaz,
Melinda.
Melinda Díaz.
Sí.
Sí.
Okay, and let's set him up for October 21st at 1:30.
Mande
Tell him
frente.
that he'll return on October 21st at 1:30.
Mr. Pardo, su próxima corte es el 21 de octubre a la 1:30 de la tarde.
¿Sería todo?
Yes.
Yes.
Ok, sí. Gracias, muy amable.
Thank you, very kind.
Okay,
That's all we have for you, Your Honor, this afternoon.
thank you, Deputy.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a good day.
You too. Okay, and looking over the docket, that concludes this afternoon's docket. Let me stop the live.